Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a beginning screen and an ending screen for Game Maker 8.1, and this should work also for Studios, but I will talk about that later down the road. Let me show you and demonstrate real quick. Alright, so this is the beginning scene here. Click anywhere to begin. Then you're able to move across, and I'm going to die real quick here to show you what I'm talking about, and then I will demonstrate. And that's the end right there. And then you're able to escape, and it ends the game. And there's also a fade in there too. You can do a fade. Game Maker Studios does not have that capability. They took that out as well to do the fade effect, fade in, fade out. But you can do a different approach. I talked about that in my previous videos, how to do a fade. But with Game Maker 8.1, there's several effects you can do that Studios cannot do. So let me talk about all that stuff. So I have a beginning screen here, and there's a little blue dot there, and that's not visible on screen, but what that does is it allows me to not make the game 3D. So I went to add event. I just called it object end underscore D3D sprints end underscore D3D. In the code, all this you don't need. I graded it out. You just need to say D3D underscore end, open parentheses, end parentheses, and then the semicolon. Basically what this is saying is that you don't want the game to be 3D right now. You want it to be 2D. You want to make it look flat for the first beginning screen, which is going to just show the beginning intro text. Okay, so you have to have that code in there, otherwise it's going to make the game 3D even though you don't have that code in there, or the player in there. It's going to make it 3D regardless. So you have to make sure to have a code in there that's going to say, I don't want this room to be 3D, I want to make it 2D, so you can show an intro screen like I showed at the beginning. Alright, and the same thing applies to the ending here, the last screen here, where I want it to be 3D. I also have a blue square box in there that's going to say the same thing. It's going to say, I don't want this background, this in-game room, I don't want that to be 3D, I want to make it 2D. So you have to add the same code in there. D3D underscore end, open parentheses, close parentheses, semicolon, and then these brackets here, of course, open and close brackets. So it's stating that now I don't want the game 3D, I want to make it 2D, flat. Because if you don't add that in there, then it's going to be a black screen, or it's going to have a ceiling or a floor, and you don't want that. You want to make sure it's going to be 2D. So you end the code for 3D for those rooms only, and you don't want to make that square visible either, because it will show up on your screen, so make it not visible. So that's the first step there. The second step is that in the beginning screen I have, this is an image, object image, and so in this object image basically I just say that go to add event, and then you want to click on mouse and then go down to global, left press. So that means wherever you click on screen, even though you don't see your mouse, it's going to jump to the next room. So that's why I say click anywhere in the room and you'll move to the next room. So that's what's happening here. So that's how you move to the next room when you click a mouse button anywhere in the room. Go to the next room. Next room is going to be in the main 1 tab. Go to next room. And this is where I say transition from fade out to fade in. You can also do a number of effects like blend, rotate right, rotate left, push from bottom, push from left. So you can do all these effects. There's more here, but it's being cut off on my camera here. But all these effects cannot be achieved through GameMaker Studios, or maybe some of them can if you use code, but the only one I know how to do right now is the fade in, fade out by using an image and using timers to do that for Studios. But for GameMaker 8.1, you have all these options to do it through your PC computer. So I don't know why Studios took all of it out. I guess you couldn't do it for your phone device. I don't know. Something happened where they threw up an error or something, but in GameMaker 8.1 you can do all those effects, which is great. And you don't have to have an effect. If you don't want an effect on there, you can just make sure, just say no effect. At the very top it says no effect, and you can not do an effect on there if you don't want to. Depth on the image is -5. You can make that 0 if you wanted to. There's nothing else in the room except for the image, so it doesn't really matter so much. Alright, and so then when you die, let's see. Yeah, when you go to Object Player, go to the No More Health. It's going to go to in-game room, and it's going to fade out and fade in. And the in-game room is here, and you also have the little blue square that's going to make this room not 3D, make it flat. So after your health is completely gone, then you're going to move to this the last screen here. And the video I did earlier, previously with the message box, the only thing that I didn't care for the message box is that your health completely didn't go down before the message box popped up. It just popped up. I mean, you're assuming that your health bar was 0, but it does at the bottom show a little indication that it didn't go down at all. When, like, last hit, you're dead, of course, but the health box showed still an indicator that you're still living, and the message box popped up for some reason, which is weird. You probably could put some kind of delay in there, probably, to make it completely empty before a message box pops up, but I'm not sure how to do that. Probably you could use the sleep icon, which they took out in Studios. The sleep icon is the Z's here. So you throw that in there, you put so many milliseconds in there before it'll jump to the message box. So like you would put the sleep in here, set it to true, I believe, and then you would have the code in there for the create an instance, which was the message box that I had up here originally. I don't have it in this game right here, but and then so basically the health bar would be at 0 for 100 milliseconds, and then it would jump to the message box, the custom message box. But I don't know if that will work or not. It may work. The sleep kind of works like the timer, and in this game, in this system, as well as Studios, and I've talked about timers before, so the timer's right here, so it probably kind of works the same as the sleep, of course. But that's about it. I will do, and then the next video should be pretty much about creating your monsters and picking up weapons, showing ammo, drop down, and after your ammo is completely at 0, then it will jump back to the knife. So you'll always have a weapon in your hand, but it may be the weakest weapon. You might have to get closer to kill the monster versus stepping back. And when you're using a weapon, you'll be able to shoot the barrel from a distance without getting killed. But with this knife, you're too close and you do get hit. So I will talk about more of that later down the road. Thanks for watching.